Well, I'm streaming again. I decided to restart the stream. Anyway, I was about to talk about Tommy Robinson and the EU Parliament. I don't know whether it's even remotely possible that Tommy can get into the EU Parliament. By the way, ahead of us is Abu Ghosh, an Arab village, largely Arab village, and there's some big mosque right in front of me that was apparently paid for by some one of the stans, I think. I'm not entirely sure. There's a sign here, but again, it's hard for me to tell how much you can see of this. And some kind of quarrying activity down there as well. The whole area. Anyway, yeah, EU Parliament. Firstly, I think I'm very unsure because I dislike the entire edifice of the EU Parliament. That's why I was a strong Brexiteer. I spoke on I24 News about being pro-Brexit quite often. So the idea of being in the EU Parliament, I mean, Tommy would make a hell of a splash in there, but I just don't see how they're going to let that happen. He's too dangerous. He's just too damn dangerous to allow into the EU Parliament. And so I would be very, very, very suspicious of what would be done to him if he even remotely announced his plans to run for the EU Parliament. Now, I can see with my eyes a Israeli Air Force Hercules flying right across the sky, but I can't see it on my monitor screen. You might be able to on bigger screens. Yeah, so what can be done? I mean, the EU Parliament has to just be finished with, basically. Britain should not be in it. I agree with Gerard Batten on this, in that I don't understand why Britain is not out of the EU. I don't understand the Article 50 thing. I don't understand why they had to ask for permission or even a deal. It just didn't strike me as sensible. And so the idea of running EU Parliament elections again just makes no sense to me, but that's what you've got. That's what happens when you elect people who just do not know how to govern a country. And to the Israeli elections. Well, I haven't been looking at my phone actually for the last couple of hours because I've been busy, so I have no idea whether Bennett and Shaked managed to squeak in. As far as Bibi again, look, I'm genuinely pro Bibi. I don't think there was anybody else on offer who could even remotely govern this country as well as he can, and he's proven to. I'm not particularly worried about the corruption charges. I think it's very much like the Trump situation, probably something a bit more real because he's not a billionaire, so he's enriched himself a little bit. That's the nature of people with politics and power, unfortunately. On balance, I certainly couldn't have supported blue and white. There's too much left in them, too much of this sort of optimistic rather than, realistic view of who we're facing and what it means to make concessions to them. That's the reason why, in the end, there was no other sensible choice but Bibi. And I think a lot of Israel saw that, and that's why he's been returned with a bigger majority than previously. Anyway, I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to bring this thing in for a landing, and thanks for watching. Sorry about the break with the telephone call. I do as much as I can to avoid those, but people don't quite listen. This is Brian of London, in the hills just outside Jerusalem, where I am allowed to fly.